Let's
Yeah,
get that
well,
other. Let's get
I
that
will
other.
push back on this. Nobody's fully whole. Even if you get healed and this, that, and the third, you're always gonna have flaws, right? So if we're supposed to have a help meet, right? The reason why you have a help meet is because this person is supposed to meet you in the areas of where you lack. Now, however, I do agree with you that this person or this woman or this guy that you're with, they aren't designed to fix you. Fixing, helping, it's kind of two different things.
There should
So
be a balance. That's what
Yeah,
he's
I
saying.
was gonna
yeah,
say no. I agree with that. Like you don't you're not supposed to get a fix mate. It's a helpmate. But the thing is, as with a helpmate, that means you coming to the table with something that needs helping with. If you're coming to the table where you're looking for that person to just fill you, that's a total different type of work. Like it would be very unfair to me if I mean, to my husband, that if I had, well, not it would be, it was, let me say that. Because if I come to a relationship with trauma that I did not deal with prior to getting in a relationship with him, there's part of me that's going to be drawn to something in him that I see that I'm actually looking to pull from him, right? The truth of the matter is that he could never fix that. That's the work that I would need to do on my own. Like I've said on here like before how I've had issues with my dad growing up, right? So the things that I felt that I lacked from having in my father, I'm looking for him to fulfill. He will never be able to give me that because he's not my daddy. He's not my father. So for me to put that on him is unfair. And then end up getting frustrated at him saying he ain't no man. Not that I did this, I really didn't. Saying that he's not a man, or he doesn't fulfill me, he don't know what he doing, that kind of thing. And it has absolutely nothing to do with him. I was trying to pull something from him that he could never give me. Mm-hmm. So you can't look for a partner. Like I do understand what you're saying in terms of there's going to be strength and weaknesses that will help y'all balance each other out. So like for me, I'm not good in math. That's not my thing. He's stronger in math than I am. So things that's related to math, I go to him. You know what I'm saying? Having organized things, that's not his strength. Having things put in order so it's easier, or have an easier flow, things like that, that's my strength. You know what I'm saying? So he'll come to me for that. So those kind of things are cool. But when it's those deep self-work issues, that's never going to be good, to look for that person to fill that part.
I,
All right, you
I
guys.
agree.
All right, you guys, let's go to the next video, and we are dizzy.
There's men that still kind of push this narrative that like women with very high body count is a sub woman. Why do you think they still do that?
They say they do it because of the research on body count, which shows that people with higher body counts are more likely to be unfaithful. They're less likely to be satisfied in monogamous relationships, more likely to get divorced. There's a lot of negative correlations with body count. And they say that it's because of the research, but then it's like the research shows the same effects in men. And you're not saying that men with high body counts are problematic. Oftentimes these same guys are saying that men with high body counts are like successful or good. So it's like, it doesn't seem to be a research driven idea. My friend Alexander, who's a graduate student, he ran a survey and it wasn't a representative sample, but he found that the men who cared the most about body counts were the least sexually successful. The underlying factor that we see is that men who care more about body count, at least in his survey, tended to have low body counts themselves. It could be because they have religious beliefs about that. It could be higher disgust sensitivity. So they're obviously not going to have casual sex if they're really easily grossed out by that kind of thing. Or it could be sour grapes. This was Alexander's theory, which was that you can't reach the grapes, so they're too sour. The women who are having lots of sex don't want to have sex with you, and so you say you wouldn't want to anyway. So it could be that. And these are all hypotheses. None of these are tested. I think part of it is sexual insecurity. I think that comes from the fact that there's just more points of comparison. Just statistically, if you're sleeping with a woman for the first time and she slept with 9 other guys, let's say, and you're number 10, it's just all else being equal, 10% chance that you're the best ever. If it's 99 guys and you're number 100, it's a 1% chance. I mean, everyone's going to tell you that you're their best sexual experience, but most of the times, if they've slept with lots of people, that's going to be a lie. Some men know that and they won't admit it, but I think that's why some men care about body count, if I had to guess.
Let me just say this.
I'll let y'all discuss that one.
I I do think that there are times when you should be concerned about body count. Okay. Let me let you guys go, and then I'll say my little piece. Go ahead.
AP, you want to go first, or you want me to go?
Man, you go ahead, bro. I'm gonna go blow my nose. That was
Okay. So I think, like I said before, men have cared about body count. We just didn't call it body count. You talk about marrying hoes, or you can't make a hoe a housewife and all this other stuff. So you care about these things because there's going to be a negative perspective of your representation to other people when you marry this woman that's potentially been with all these other guys. So I think I agree with him that men aren't thinking about it, scientifically speaking, as often as what they're trying to make it seem like online. However, I do think that a lot of guys will agree, even if her body count is 2 and you seen her have sex with another dude. So your guy number 3, she had a video with her with the first guy. She's only been with 2 guys. Sometimes men have a visceral reaction to seeing or feeling like something that should be theirs is not theirs. And that if other people have experienced this thing that I feel like it should have been for me, now we feel slighted, right? Because like we always talk about, traditional relationships and da 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 da. The reality is neither one of us is traditional. Men ain't traditional and women ain't traditional. None of us is virgins. None of us care about none of the biblical stuff. A lot of us say that we do, but a lot of us don't. We do whatever we want, however we want it. We want to work. We want to just do whatever we want to do, right? These aren't traditional relationships. Traditional relationships, y'all supposed to have a symbiotic relationship where y'all work together and that y'all take care of each other. That's what traditional is. Man usually worked because he can work longer and harder, and he was more likely to get more long term when the kids was here. The kids is here, somebody got to watch the kids because you can't take the kids out to you to go hunt for food, right? Only makes sense. So there was dynamics that was created based upon the symbiotic relationship that was needed for survival. Great, fantastic. But to answer the guy's question, I agree. People aren't really, especially guys, they're not looking at it as scientifically most cases. They're just like, if she's been around a whole bunch of dudes, right? What is the likelihood of her staying with me if she's been around a whole bunch of guys? Or what is the likelihood of her remaining faithful to me if she's been with a bunch of guys? She has shown in her history and in her past, she's been with this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. What makes me different? So from that standpoint, I can see why guys like they care about body count because of their representation and risk management. She got 100 bodies, you're 101. What do I matter to her if she's had 100 bodies? Simple math.